Wright in that number 3. Dale Earnhardt, Tasmanian Devil Monte Carlo, takes the lead. And that's going to be the first person tonight who wrestles that lead away from Jacob Bradley. And they're wrecking behind them immediately. 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved. And caution is going to fly at Daytona International. There's the yellow. Cody Pennell's been involved. It looks like Tom Sears also got a piece of that action. And who's that at the back in the singular machine? Brandon Fetterplace. All got a piece of that lap 5 crash. Well, Tasmanian Devil takes the lead, and next thing you know, it all falls to pieces behind him. Let's see if we can go back to Briley Wright's pass for the lead. And by this point, Briley Wright's already up ahead, and there they go behind them. So let's run this back because we can see that the 16 car of Matt Seeger was involved. Let's run this real nice and slow. There's the 16 Unified machine, part of that, it's not Delta Force, it's some other team there, but we'll talk about them later. Contact from the 41 of Noah Belleville, however. The Georgian gets a piece of that action. Let's run this one back, see if we can get a different angle. But keep your eye on the 41 of Belleville. Keep your eye on the 16 of Matt Seeger. Matter of fact, let's see if we can go... Perfect. Let's have a look. Driver's already checking up from what Donald Ray had experienced up ahead. And the native of Rockwall, Texas, in that number 5 GMAC Ricky Hendrick paint scheme sits behind Toby Estes. Keep your eye on car number 5. Let's see if we can get an eye in the sky here. There we go, that number 5. You can see the 15 just checks up, the 16 behind him, and then it all just goes upside down. How about Bren Roberts trying to work his way through this action? And just carnage for Bren to work his way through, and caution number 1 comes out at iRacing's Daytona International. If you missed those first few laps, I promise you didn't miss a thing. That caution was our first bit of action. Jacob Bradley, our race leader. Toby Estes in the number 8 on the outside. Let's see if we can bother the defending champion for a quick word. This is a different animal than these drivers are used to racing, and I want to see just exactly how he feels about it. JB, Rick James up top, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Talk to me about this new car. How does it drive?
It drives definitely different on these super speedways. You could bump draft and, you know, kind of get away with it. I know that wreck just happened because of a bump draft gone wrong, but it's definitely not as bad as it used to be, and it should be an interesting one. Hopefully we keep it green.
The 11th campaign of Thursday Night Thunder. This is your second season of Thursday Night Thunder, and obviously your intentions are to defend your championship, but it's a new formula. It's a completely different car. So now you have to adapt, as well as the rest of your competition. What's the biggest obstacle with this new race car?
Just really learning how to drive it again. It drives a lot different than the old one does. A lot of setups are tighter, and it's just really going to be a learning curve, and I think I can adapt pretty well, but we'll have to see how the season goes.
We're going to let you get back to work, champ. Congratulations on that championship, and hopefully we talk to you at the end of the show.
Thanks, boss.
D-Bucks in the chat says, go Briley Wright. Don't fast forward to the end of the 01 500. All right then, fantastic. Josh Gaiman in the number 6-1 Smirnoff machine sits ahead of Chris Fleming in that number 38. Chris finds himself in the lucky number 13th position. Rookie Ryan Rose in the number 31 car. We'll see what he can do. Aaron Edwards back for another season of fun in that number 15 unified event machine. Now, we mentioned that they're part of this sim racing team, if you will, Delta Sport. It's a racing program that's always been in the road racing side of iRacing. They're similar to other sim racing teams like Redline or Williams Esports, but to a somewhat smaller scale, if you will. They've competed in the top split of the iRacing Sebring 24 and the Daytona 24 as well. So this isn't their first rodeo by any means whatsoever. One of the notable members of Delta Sport on iRacing is actually Connor Zilich as well. They plan to get into oval racing to expand their horizons and hopefully provide a program that can help lead drivers to the road, to the pro or the Coke Series, or just become better iRacers in general. So they do get their setups from the Delta Sport team with a business account actually through Marconi Shop, free professional level paint schemes as well as cars and tracks. They've been around for a few years, and now some of these Delta Sport guys are making their way into Thursday Night Thunder by way of Matt Seeger in the 16, Ethan Winters in the 10, and the 15 of Aaron Edwards in that purple unified potential Ford. Toby Estes up 23 places from where he started. He's on the outside of the front row. We're about to go green again. Him and Jake Bradley have control of the field. 8 laps complete. Green flag is out at Daytona. Clean and green through the first lap of competition. Toby Estes with control of the field with Donald Ray behind him. The pride of Rockwall, Texas, now sneaking behind. One of Greensburg, Kentucky's very own 8-car to the front. New leader. Aaron Edwards in the number 15 unified car has Ryan Lindemann behind him, the Tampa driver with company. I was going to say competition and company, but also the driver who had a hand in Matt Seeger going around on that last caution. Season 9 Thursday Night Thunder champion Noah Belleville in the number 41 Target Chevrolet. Let's go on board. Heavy bump drafting heading into turn number 3. Noah Belleville just trying to stay off of that, off of the 97, the 51 of Ryan Lindemann throwing up sparks, and the Kodak machine now needs to take it easy. How about this car stacking up behind him? That's Nick Giampa in the 78 with Ryan Pennell in the 12, the Jacksonville native. A big fan of the Georgia Bulldogs in that Mobile One Speed Pass machine. He's got his cousin Cody Pennell in the 21 Motorcraft car. Let's go on board with cousin Cody. Cars throwing up green laps, meaning they're going faster and faster and faster. The track is cooling down. The cars are settling. 13 laps into our 80-lap season opener. Toby Estes still with control in the Budweiser machine. That outside lane getting squirrely. You can see Lindemann trying to create space from Chris Fleming in that 38. Every race that we've ever done for Thursday Night Thunder in some way or another has been brought to us by the good folks at Drip Diecast and Collectibles, and this is none other. If you need a diecast, if you need a piece of NASCAR memorabilia, this is the store to visit. Drip Diecast and Collectibles. They are your #1 online store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia, and they bring us tonight's race facts. Drivers can expect to go about 25 to 30 laps on one tank of fuel. How about the bump drafting here by Donald Ray to Toby Estes? If you just tuned in, one caution to speak of. This is our first race in the new Gen 4 car, and they make such a sweet sound. Listen to them sing. And my question is, what in the world happened to Jacob Bradley, the defending champion? He was our race leader at one point in time. And the 50 car... No, not Jacob Bradley. There must be... Who's the other Old Spice car that's well off the pack? Is that Markowski? That is Markowski. Okay. Forgive my confusion, but of course you can understand why. They look identical. It's Dale Markowski. Jacob Bradley is merely in the identical Old Spice car, halfway in the pack. Season 9 champion Noah Belleville goes to the front. Drivers restarted this race on lap number 6. Here's why this is important. Rookie Ryan Rose in that 31. He did not pit. Jacob Bradley in the number 50 did not pit. Toby Estes in the 8, guess what? He didn't pit either. These drivers will be able to go approximately 25 laps. That's about 8 laps fewer than their rivals, such as Noah Belleville, who's leading this race. So Belleville can go to approximately, let's say, lap 31, while the rest of the competition can only go to lap 25. If another yellow doesn't come out, that could really change the shape of this race. So far, at the front, it's single file, 6, 7 cars deep. Then Ryan Lindemann starts the split in the 5-1. He leads the high side with Nick Giampa behind him. Ryan Pennell, previous Thursday Night Thunder winner. Cody Pennell, who in his rookie Thursday Night Thunder season came up with 3 wins. And Thursday Night Thunder sophomore Aaron Edwards in the 15. Let's go on board. John Honeybrink in the unmarked 20 car comes up with the quickest lap thus far with Austin Mongold behind him, 45.90 seconds. Honeybrink is quickest. The top 7 have pitted. Ryan Lindemann up 19 places from where he started. Jampa up 18 places from where he started. And how about North Florida's Richie Catania trying to crack that top 10? Lockhart asking if Matt Seeger is running tonight. He absolutely is. And if you don't recognize Seeger, he's got new colors. He finds himself in the 31st position right now, drafting with Ethan Winters. He's one of 3 unified cars. Seeger in the 16. Winters in the 10. And all the way in the 16th position, Edwards in the 15. Now, we do have to make a correction. There is a misspelling in that hometown. Aaron Edwards is from Henrico, Virginia. We've missed an N, and for that we apologize. At the front, it's all Moldy. Nickname for those that don't know. They call him Moldy. Otherwise known as Noah Belleville. He's still ahead of Donald Ray, and I think they're just letting him do all the hard work right now. Again, drivers have pit stops. Everybody has to have a pit stop in at least the next, 10 laps. But drivers like Ryan Rose, who sit in 9th, drivers like our defending champion and pole sitter, Jacob Bradley, in 13th, they have to pit in approximately the next 4 to 6 laps. But has Jacob Bradley been saving? Is that why Jacob Bradley finds himself in 14th rather than still at the front of this pack? We're going to find out very, very shortly. It is a new car. It is 2 new packages. We're going to see this particular car twice this year. Here at Daytona, then again at Talladega. And if in future seasons we decide to run at the new configuration for the Atlanta Motor Speedway, we'll see it there as well. Uncharted waters for everybody, for myself in the booth, for their drivers on the track, for our stewards, our admin team, if you will. One thing that doesn't change is that we love our racing. And at the front, Noah Belleville leads. More than a quarter of the way through, sparks being kicked up at the back. It looks like Tommy Withers in the number 6 Viagra machine sits ahead of 2-time champion Tom Sears in the 1-4. Let's ride along with Sears. What's the phrase? Don't adjust your television set. You are seeing 2 identical Interstate Batteries cars as well. Tom Sears in the 14, Colin McDonough in the 39. Tom Sears a big Bobby Labonte fan. Colin McDonough just decided to put these clothes on tonight. All right. So far, so good. We restarted on lap 6, and we have had no incident thus far. Pit stops looming, and here we go. Ryan Rose already coming in. The rookies down. Also Jacob Bradley, but they're coming in at an absurd amount of speed. Do they make it down? Who else is coming in? It looks like Jacob Bradley's in, Tony Caputo. Toby Estes is in. These 4 cars, and they did not very much come in as a group, but nevertheless, now into the pits. Estes motionless, Caputo's moving, and we hope they didn't get a speeding penalty. Noah Belleville leading this race. Toby Estes is moving, looks like no penalty for him, but Caputo is already out of the pits, so Caputo will have no draft help. Toby Estes will have no draft help. There's Noah Belleville about to put him a lap down. As far as our pole sitter goes, Jacob Bradley, he and Ryan Rose are paired together. Car number 50 ahead of car 31, while car 41 leads this race still. There's Toby Estes going a lap down. And a bump from Donald Ray. There's Bradley in the 5-0. Now, certainly, if this 2-car tandem pulls away from the leaders, we know that the leaders are trying to save at least some fuel. We saw Rose and Bradley, Caputo and Estes all come down on lap 25. They could last no longer. Jacob Bradley, who is an expert at saving fuel, could last no longer than 25 laps. So we can estimate that the rest of the field will be coming in within the next 3 laps. Drivers like Austin Mongold in the 4. I'm sorry, the 92. Gotta go ahead and get that fixed. We'll have that fixed there. But Mongold being scored as the 4 in the number 92 car. How about this? Nick Pressey trying to stay away from his rivals. Trying to draft behind Cody Pennell in the Motorcraft Ford. The red, white, and black machine leads the crimson, silver, and black Dr. Pepper machine, and Tom Sears follows behind them. Drivers itching. I'm waiting. I'm itching to see this pit road sequence, because I will be astonished if we all make it through without any sort of calamities going on. We'll see exactly what happens. There's Belleville in the 41. Not coming down quite yet. .50 to go this time by. 1 caution to speak of. This has been the running order all night long. Well, since the restart, at least. Noah Belleville, Donald Ray, Briley Wright, your top 3. Nobody dares to come down into the pits yet, but when they do, it will be a calamity. So far, so good in the new Gen 4 car. They look great. They sound great. And the bump drafting works out. Drivers just need to find the subtleties, and we're about to see what happens when the mass group of drivers comes into the pits, how the cars are under braking, under acceleration. These are all dark, deep, uncharted waters for TNT. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody coming in at a huge rate of speed. Noah Belleville gets it under 60. Does everybody else get it under 60? They've all made it without incident. How about that? They proved me wrong. That was beautifully orchestrated. Austin Mongold in the incorrectly numbered 92 machine now takes the new lead ahead of Nick Pressey moving at 190 miles an hour while his rivals are motionless in the pits. Noah Belleville beats Jeremy Brio out of pit road. There's Brio. Right behind him, Donald Ray, the big loser in that sequence. And now he has to carefully get back up to speed on those cold tires. Now, how about Nick Pressey getting run into by Tony Caputo? Pressey will skid his way into the pits. He comes to a halt. Austin Mongold makes it through. Nick Pressey gets a big boot from Tony Caputo, who continues to move forward. And that just looked like some miscommunication, some misunderstanding. That's unfortunate. See if we can run this back here. Oh. Or not. Okay. No idea what I've done. Back to live pictures. All right, this is exactly what I was looking for. Nick Pressey in that 94 just comes in across 2 lanes of traffic. Tony Caputo's behind him, and, well, just looked like some unfortunate miscommunication. Have another look. Pressey in the orange and silver 94. He's on the outside of Mongold. He decides he's going to come in and decelerates above that yellow line on the racing surface, gets a boot full of Tony Caputo, so Caputo probably damaged in that 2-3. He runs in 26th. Jeremy Brio is your race leader. How about Larry Eberhard in the chat? My man Larry ran a lot of races in TNT. He's got that great fighting spirit. Miss you, Larry. Hopefully we can see you next week at Rockingham. Going to be our first intermediate track, so just like we're racing a new car tonight, we're going to be racing a new car next week as well, because this is the Super Speedway package. Next week we're going to go to the intermediate, or the regular package, if you will. Interesting here, 4 cars have pulled out to a 1.2 second advantage back to Josh Gaiman, who is 5th on back. Ryan Pinnell's in this mix as well, quickly approaching halfway. And now we have separate factions or groups of cars. 1st through 4th, who are now losing the time to Josh Gaiman. 1st through 4th is soon going to become 1st through 8th, as Brandon Fetterplace will join. But then there's Richie Catania, who's in 9th. Richie's got cars all the way back to Austin Mongold in 13th. Then Jacob Renneker in 14th has 3 more cars behind him back to Ryan Rose. Kevin Feemster. We haven't mentioned Kevin tonight, the Indiana native. He sits ahead of Matt Seeger. Seeger running in the 18th position. So cars certainly just grouped up and can't advance because there's just too much distance to the next group ahead. So this is going to be a problem unless a caution comes out. All they can do is what they're doing right now. Matt Seeger is going to bump draft Kevin Feemster as hard as he can to Ryan Rose. It is a 2-second advantage. Rose trying to find his way around defending champion Jacob Bradley. And at the front of this race in the Taco Bell machine, one Jeremy Brio. Drivers last pitting on lap 31. Fry Dog's in the house. What's going on, man? Shout out to the West Coast. Grandma Jeannie's in the house as well. Talking to Noah, saying they're at Daytona for Friday and the Saturday race, wishing that Noah was there. Noah's going to try and deliver the win, nonetheless, for the family. This is what it's going to look like until these next 4 cars join and make this an 8-car line. And then again, it's 4 seconds back to Richie Catania. If we take a look at the gap over the last 5 laps, you'll see that Richie is not consistently gaining on Brandon Fetterplace, who's 4 seconds ahead. They need to do something here, or pray that another yellow comes out, because right now it's the top 8 versus the rest of the field. Lead pack, rather unorganized. They last pitted on lap 31, so the quick math will tell you they can make it to lap 56. And then that's going to put them extremely close, because if drivers can go 25 laps on fuel, pitting on lap 56 means they're going to go to lap 81 on fuel. So it's going to be extremely tight, but of course, caution changes all of this and makes this a one-stop race. Well, no, it's still a 2-stop race to the end. Don't listen to me. I'm not good at math. I just talk about the race cars and watch them go in a circle here. But they do put on a fantastic show. Kyle St. John in the double 5. He's on the outside of Season 9 champion Noah Belleville. St. John's into the wall. Will he stay glued there? He keeps it moving. What happened to the double 5? What was there contact between Belleville? Let's run this back one more time, but it looked like the 5-5 and the 41 may have made contact, may have been net code. Slow it down, see if we can get a look from the sky. Is there daylight between them? Oh, there's so much daylight between them. That's net code right there, and St. John gets up into the wall. He's going to come down into the pits. Car 6-1, Josh Gaiman. The West Virginian, I think the only West Virginian in this field, just went purple. 45.8 seconds. He is quickest. That shakes up the running order. Noah Belleville, the DeSoto, Missouri pilot, has lost that draft. He is by his lonesome. 3.4 seconds back to the next pack, led by Richie Catania in the $1 billion Pepsi Chevrolet. At the front, exactly what Brio wants to see. I didn't want to see the insides of Riley's car at all. No idea why we just saw that. We should probably fix that, right? It's okay. First race with the new car. We'll get this fixed one way or another. Riley's really drafting up close to the back end of that 74. Let's go on board with the Tasmanian Devil car. You know, this year we wanted to humanize our drivers, so we encouraged everybody to submit a photo they'd like to put on stream in their hometown so we can relate to our competitors a bit more. And Riley decided to use this picture of himself leaning up against his friend's Pontiac Fiero. It's one of the tougher looking photos that we have, definitely. Emily was in the chat earlier commenting about that photo, and I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, we're we're having fun with it. It's going to be a really fun season of racing, that's for sure. Josh Gaiman now up the back end of Tom Sears into the Smirnoff Ice Machine. Grandma Jeannie cheering for Briley Wright as well, who runs in that second position. We're past the halfway mark. We're on the back nine now. Briley Wright comfortably sits behind Jeremy Brio, leading the field. The top 7 in one group and 6 seconds behind. It's the next group. Richie Catania. Noah Belleville was already ditched by that group. They all went around him with such ease. Watch this. Belleville on the outside says, you know what? I won't even make a nuisance of myself. You can see he's got significant damage on the right front, though. The car could just be damaged and not capable of running those high speeds, and the same thing's going to happen here. The Season 9 champion who was leading this race, aero damage after netcode with Kyle St. John. Noah Belleville is now outside the top 20. He cuts in line right ahead of Ryan Lindemann, who will kindly pick him up and assist Belleville with getting the back end of the draft. Connor Knowlton in the all-black 07 now rolls behind Bren Roberts, who rounds out our top 20. Single file as everybody is just settled in. This is where you just got to hurry up and wait. Massachusetts leading, Massachusetts running in third, the great state of Kentucky being represented in the silver medal slot. West Virginia, Texas also represented in the top 5. Shout out Ryan Pennell, Jacksonville native by way of Good Hope, Georgia, up 28 places from where he started. That's just unbelievable. Up 28 places from where he started, currently running in 6th. He last pitted with the majority of drivers on lap 31. So again, pit stops will be coming to him approximately lap 56. Drivers like Jacob Bradley, Ryan Rose, they pitted on lap 25. Expect them to visit pit road also on lap 25. Toby Estes, who's currently drafting with Chuck Sweeting, also pitting on lap 25. And here's another Floridian in that 5-7. These guys hoping, praying for that caution to come out. But at the rate that everybody's in single file mode, just enjoying their Thursday night drive, I don't expect a caution to come out any time soon. Davy Jones in the house as well. He and John Fry chopping it up. Larry Eberhard says, I guess the next pit stop will be for fuel only. That's a really good question, Larry. I guess we'll have to see their pit stop times and see exactly what's up. But you could be exactly right. If there's no need to visit for tires, why? Get the gas. Ryan Pennell in that 5th position. We're going to let him concentrate. Normally I would bother him at a time like this, but we're going to let him concentrate. It's a brand new car. There's still a lot at stake here. Davy Jones hoping to be back with us in TNT by round 5. That's going to be the Silverstone race. You heard me correctly, Silverstone. Thursday Night Thunder next week is going to Rockingham. Round 3 finds us at Darlington. And this is where the schedule gets fun. We do love our Gen 4 nostalgia. We love our Gen 4 vibe, right? Gen 4 cars, rules. Jeremy Brio says he's had enough of leading this race. He's going to give the lead to Briley Wright in the Tasmanian Devil Machine. Tom Sears will take the 2nd position. Josh Gaiman promoted to 3rd. Brio says, I'm going to see if I can save some fuel at the back. Anyway, next week, Rockingham. 2 weeks from now, Darlington. Bristol on the 11th. And then we have our first off week. After the 11th, we take that break. And then Silverstone, September 25. Uncharted waters, indeed. Riley Wright ahead of Tom Sears as they continue to circulate around the World Center of Racing. 52 laps about to be complete. Pit stops completed by Ryan Rose, Jacob Bradley, Toby Estes came down on lap 48. Tony Caputo on lap 49. Estes finds himself a lap off the pace and in desperate need of a yellow. He was once up front. His Bluegrass Bandit partner, also from Greensburg, Kentucky, in that number 3 Tasmanian Devil car, leads this race. Pit stops less than 5 laps away, and that first round of green flag stops was mighty successful. Mostly, everyone made it through without incident. And the only saving grace for those drivers there is hoping that the caution comes out. We were saying it was a 12-second gap from 7th to 8th. Nobody comes into the pits yet. 54 laps now complete. 25 to go next time by. You can bet that the guys in the back of the field are hoping that the guys at the front of the field have a huge mistake coming into the pits. This is that secondary gap here. This is 18th place, Aaron Edwards. And there's your race leader, Riley Wright. If there's a mistake, there is time to burn, but if there's a mistake up front, they'll certainly want that caution to come out to help them recover. Does Briley lead the procession in? He does. Everybody's in. Everybody's coming down into the pits. All of the top 7. Will they speed? 4 wide into the pits. Josh Gaiman gets a piece of some of the action. Tom Sears escapes all of that. How about Josh Gaiman speeding ahead of Briley Wright, but will it amount to a speeding penalty? Austin Mongold and Bren Roberts will stay out while everybody else decides to come in. 3, 4, 5 wide as well. No dramas here. No, there is some. John Honeybrink, he gets tagged big time. What just happened? Twisted's his nickname in the chats, and he got twisted around by the 15 car. Aaron Edwards just trying to find some real estate. Twists around the 20. Race leader Austin Mongold in the incorrectly numbered 92 car, being scored as the 4. Will stay out with no draft help, and Bren Roberts now has no draft help. In comes the 78, though, of Nick Giampa, and that's going to be the saving grace for Bren Roberts as well. Austin Mongold by himself, not a wise move if you're Austin Mongold, because Brent Roberts has a draft partner. Mongold does not, and he is shooting himself in the foot with that lost draft time. Meanwhile, pitting on lap 55, now with 24 laps to go from Jacksonville, Florida, by way of Good Hope, Georgia, and St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Ryan Pennell leads this race, well, tentatively leads this race. Bama Trama in the house. What's going on, Mama Vols? Glad to hear you. Austin Mongold decides to come in. Ryan Pennell started dead last. He is up 32 places from where he started. Keep in mind, this lead pack has just enough fuel. Just enough fuel to go the distance. We'll see what happens. 25 laps is that drip diecast and collectibles. Expected fuel window, maybe more if they save. Glad to see everybody's in the house tonight in the chat. Mama Vols, Davy Jones, Emily Seeger's here, Fry Dog, Tanner Lockhart was here earlier, D-Bucks was in the chat. Dustin Painter, for those that know. If you got a favorite driver, shout him out in the chat. Let's hear him. Tom Sears, the two-time TNT champion in that number 14 machine. Behind Cincinnati's Brandon Fetterplace. 34 looks to the inside. These drivers do have to be careful, though. 22 laps is still a long time to mess this up. Davy Jones says if the 21 car can get back to the front, that's my pick. And that's Cody Pennell. He's in this secondary pack that is 12 seconds behind. So the top 6, it used to be top 7. The top 6 is 12 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Let's go on board with Cody Pennell. Pennell now going to the outside of Nick Pressey. That's not for position. The Brooklyn pilot finds himself now one lap off the pace, but if he can stay on the draft, he'll be able to still compete and have a chance at getting that lucky dog position. 3 drivers went green on that last lap, so the cars are still getting faster. 1-9 next time by. Ryan Pennell goes to the high side and he says, Brandon, you call it. New leader in the singular machine, Brandon Fetterplace. Three, 4, 1, 4, 7, 4. Your top 3. Josh Gaiman in the 61 behind that 74 of Jeremy Brio. Briley Wright sits in 5th. Ryan Pennell behind Briley. Briley has won in Thursday Night Thunder here before. Actually, one of the more unique finishes, the entire field, and I mean the entire field, wrecked behind Briley Wright, and no one was able to contest the last half a lap, which belonged only to Briley. So he's seen victory lane here before. We'll see if he knows the way back. At the front, 18 to go. Brandon Fetterplace in control. 12 seconds adrift. Cody Pennell now leads Matt Seeger in this secondary pack of cars. So many good names we haven't mentioned in this field yet. A massive field. We started with 33 drivers. Dale Markowski, the only driver still being scored in this race, not out, just off the racetrack. What in the world is happening here? Tony Caputo, one of our rookies, to the inside of that yellow line, trying to make way for Elrich George in the 40, repping Nassau, all the way in the Bahamas. And then Donald Ray from Rockwall, Texas. He sits in that 24th position, 1 lap off the pace. Noah Belleville in 20th. Technically on the lead lap, half a lap down if you will. 16 to go this time by. If you got a favorite, shout them out. Let's see who you're gambling on to win this race. For me, I honestly just couldn't call it. I really couldn't call it. Josh Gaiman sits in that 4th position. We'll see what he can get up to and see if Gaiman can amount to any sort of strategy to make a pass. Of course, bump drafting is quite the danger, especially once we get into the later stages. You would hate to see a race decided, ruined, influenced by impatient bump drafting. And we'll see what happens. we really will. 15 and a half laps remain. And these drivers may not have to pit. Ryan Rose, he pitted on lap 50. Jacob Bradley pitted on lap 51, which is not enough for them to make it on fuel. The magic number here is 55. The majority of the drivers pitted on lap 55. As a matter of fact, all of the top 14 drivers pitted at least on lap 55 or more. They should be able to go that distance. 14 to go next time by. So now the leaders have traffic. Elrich George leads the line. George finds himself in the 24th position, 1 lap off the pace. Shout out Davy Jones just following, triggering my favorite Darrell Waltrip phrase, 200 miles a damn hour there. There you see the rest of the competition. Larry Eberhard in the chat says, Jacob Bradley is an expert at saving gas. You better know it. Technically, 27 cars on the lead lap. We'll see just how long that lasts. Fetter Place still being scored as the race leader. Tom Sears in that 2nd position. But now what move do you make? If you're sitting in 2nd, you know that time is running out, but you're not in a bad position. Of course, Tom Sears really can't go anywhere without the help of Jeremy Brio, so it could be up to car 74 to decide who goes where and who gets the move. But of course, with the lapped traffic, they could give a nice, juicy draft to any of the drivers behind Brandon Fetterplace looking to advance their position. So Fetterplace really could be getting attacked from both ends. $11 to go next time by. Brandon Fetterplace, to my knowledge, has never seen victory lane in Thursday Night Thunder. Tom Sears. Look at them spread out. Look at them spread out. Tom Sears now using the draft to go right to the lead. I was going to say he's a two-time champion, and he's showing off the moves there. So Tom Sears using the draft and a little bit of help to get to the front. New leader with 11 laps to go. So now the target is on the back of that Interstate Batteries number 14. Aaron Edwards in that number 15 unified machine. He's pulling that top line forward. Donald Ray behind him. Tom Sears third in line, but of course it is that green 14 that leads this race. 10 to go this time by. Fuel will be tight, but they should be able to make it. It's about trust now. Can you trust the driver ahead of you not to check up? Can you trust the driver behind you not to bump draft you or spin you into oblivion? Ryan Pennell is just on the cusp. Remember, he started in the 34th position. He started dead last. He's up to 6th. 9 at the line. Lockhart asking, is there any chance the pack from 8th on back can catch the leaders? They're shaving off time. And what was a 12-second gap is now down to 5. Over the last 5 laps. These are the numbers. Bren Roberts is in 7th, behind Toby Estes. Last time around, he was catching him to the tune of 5/10. This time around, Bren Roberts in the 84. Look at him right underneath Toby Estes. 0.3 slower than Ryan Pennell. The gap is still 5.2 with 9 laps to go. Bren's going to need to move at half a second a lap if he just wants to catch the back end of this pack. But of course, a late race caution could change absolutely everything. You see that secondary pack advancing in the distance. 8 to go. This time by, Tom Sears is in control. Isn't racing grand? Whether you're at your local short track, whether you're just sitting at home watching this on your phone screen, racing is just fantastic. 7 laps to go this time by. Tom Sears leads. Bren Roberts in that secondary pack with Cody Pennell urging him forward in that Motorcraft machine. He is 3.9 seconds behind the pack. Meanwhile, Noah Belleville from 15th on back. He is 17 seconds behind Tommy Withers. Some dreams are bigger than others. When's the last time Tom Sears saw victory lane? Did he win season 10? He's won at least in the last couple of seasons. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Davy Jones, a big fan of that 21 Cody Pennell machine. I gotta say, it does look pretty fantastic. Definitely brings back a lot of the Elliott Sadler nostalgic vibes. Three seconds the gap from Ryan Pennell in 6th to his cousin Cody in 8th. Bren Roberts loosely sandwiched between them. 5 to go this time by. Aaron Edwards is not a part of this mix. He sits in the 15. Donald Ray, also not a part of this mix. He's in the GMAC number 5. It's to this driver here in the 14 Tom Sears from Southampton, Massachusetts, the two-time Thursday Night Thunder champion. Now moves to the inside, and the lapped cars, will they decide they've had enough? Donald Ray's had enough. Ray removes himself from the equation. How about Sears to the outside? He's going to leave Brio picked on the inside, but Sears now has no help. Jeremy Brio to that left-hand side. Brio's going to need a big push to get around. Donald Ray now gets up behind the 14, and we've got two lines. Drag racing for the race lead. 4 laps to go this time by. Bren Roberts and Cody Pennell can smell this pack up ahead. Tom Sears getting a big push from the 5. How about Jeremy Brio trying to get a big toe from the 15? Each line just urging to move forward. Sears moves back down to the inside with a bumper full of lapped traffic. 4 laps now to go. Fetterplace in that 34 now sits behind Donald Ray. Brandon Fetterplace also fighting for the lead. Tom Sears fighting to keep it. Donald Ray trying to stay on the lead lap, as is Aaron Edwards in the 15. 3 to go. Fetterplace with a move. He's got a huge toe from Donald Ray. New leader, Brandon Fetterplace. How will Ray affect this one? Briley Wright moves into second. Noah Belleville is in, presumably for fuel. Look at everybody trying to avoid the lap traffic. That's Ryan Lindemann in the 51 on the inside. He kindly stays to the left-hand side. Everyone needs to get around him. Fetterplace leads. Briley Wright in the second position. 2 to go this time by. Visit Drip Diecast and Collectibles. They have been our partners for 10 seasons and now starting our 11th season. If you want to get a diecast, check them out on eBay. They are your #1 store for all NASCAR memorabilia. Belleville kindly stays to the inside. The white flag will come out next time by. Briley Wright in second. He's got Tom Sears behind him. Plenty of time to figure out the race-winning move. Brandon Fetterplace has Donald Ray ahead of him. Ray just trying to stay on the lead lap. White flag this time by. Place your bets. Who do you got? This is it. 1 more lap to go. Brandon Fetterplace in the 34 singular machine, up 15 places from where he started, goes to the high side now. He's got Briley right behind him. They're going to leave Donald Ray in their dust. Briley Wright in the #3 now wants to fill in the space, but where does he go? There's heavy contact, but they still stay in one piece. Wright in the 3 to the inside. There they go. There goes Fetterplace. Wright is still in it. Pennell to the outside. Briley Wright's in the mix. There goes Ryan Pennell to the lead with Aaron Edwards behind him. One more charge to win this race. The season opener at Daytona will come down to the line. It's going to be Georgia's Ryan Pennell. Will he hang on? He will hang on and win the season opener at Daytona. With pieces missing and a fist in the air, Ryan Pennell comes home with the win after one of the most unlikely finishes imaginable. Ryan Pennell, Rick James in the booth. Talk about that last lap.
Man, I tell you what, my heart rate, it's got to be at 200 right now. Man, I hadn't won one of these things in a long time, Rick. This is, it's pretty special, man. This is, I'm actually running out of gas as I'm coming into 3 and 4, so I won't even be able to get to do a burnout. But, man, This is awesome.
We knew it was going to be close, man. What a finish. We're going to talk to you later about this. Congratulations on that W. Ryan Pannell's going to go back to, he's going to collect his thoughts for a moment. We're going to go back to that last lap. That exceeded my expectations. Let's see if he's got enough fuel to at least throw up one puff of smoke into the air. But I thought he was going to get clipped by Jeremy Brio at the end. He's got nothing left. Let's go to the white flag. So there's Pannell on the outside in that 1-2 machine. Brandon Fetterplace makes a brilliant move to go to the outside. Unofficially, he's going to finish 14th. This is where Brandon's going to get caught up. So let's slow this one down. Briley Wright makes a great move to the inside. Jeremy Brio is going to do everything he can to get to the inside here. Briley's going to try and defend. And there's the heavy contact. Nowhere for Fetterplace to go. Jeremy Brio is going to get moved to the high side. How about Briley Wright saving this, by the way? Ryan Pannell now in control. He's got Aaron Edwards in the 15 pushing him all throughout turn number 4. And watch the carnage here. So Briley's now going to be drag racing with Jeremy Brio in that 74. Tom Sears trying to give him every push he can. Ryan trying to go to the high side. This is what I want to see here, because Jeremy's going to go low. Ryan's going to go to the high side, almost as if he's trying to throw a block. Ryan makes contact with the lapped car of Edwards. There's Jeremy Brio, who ducks to the left, to the right, almost. Well, he does collect Ryan Pannell. He beats Briley right to the line by 7/100ths of a second. Connor Knowlton will come flipping through the frame. And Ryan Pannell is motionless on the front straight. We're going to talk to him, Jeremy, Briley. Don't go anywhere. This first race in the new Gen 4 car has been awesome. We're going to talk to you all in just a minute. On the podium with our top 3, let's start with the pride of Greensburg, Kentucky. That last lap was something else. Briley Wright, first impressions of this Gen 4 car, man. Did you have yourself a good time?
Oh yeah, the way that you could time the runs was awesome. I think at the beginning of the race, I started 20th. Me and Toby got together, and we just drove right to the front. Like, if you knew what you were doing, you could make a lot of moves and just drive right through the field. It was a blast to drive tonight. Just miscalculated what happened there at the end. I thought Fetterplace was going to make a different move, and then when I kind of didn't know where Briant was, and I was anticipating him trying to get down, so I wasn't trying to beat his door off, but I was trying to cut him off from making the move that I knew he was probably going to make. And then we just made contact, and then everything unraveled. And just glad to get third and not wadded up too much, I guess.
Congratulations on that bronze medal. We're seeing the wad up at the end. Not a bad way to start the season in a great-looking race car. Third place for car number 3. We'll see you in a week at Rockingham.
All right. Here, Rick.
Silver medalist. Man, look at that carnage. Silver medalist tonight in the Taco Bell machine from Pittsfield, Massachusetts, Jeremy Brio. Great race all around. Not a bad way to start your campaign as well. Do we have Jeremy?
You got me?
I got you now. All right, let me hear you. How was? Talk
Okay,
about the race,
all right.
man.
Yeah, I was just hoping we could have finished it a little bit cleaner than that, but I made a huge mistake at the end there coming to the line, and it cleared me for 0.5 seconds as I made the move to try and get Ryan there, maybe at the line, but I just wrecked everybody at the end, so I feel bad for that. But other than that, it was a good race. I liked how the cars got spread out. It was a lot of fun, being able to dictate only having 6 cars in a pack. I mean, we didn't have as much carnage as we usually do until the end. But yeah, these cars are fun, and can't wait to go to a real racetrack.
Yeah, we're seeing everybody just fly through the air in the carnage is pretty nuts, man. We'll see you. We'll see you in a week's time at Rockingham.
All right, see you, Rick.
Let's talk to our race winner one more time. One guy that got all the glory and the least amount of the scrapes, Ryan Pennell. Be honest, an hour ago when we started this, did you expect to be here?
No. I think I started dead last. I didn't even qualify.
Yeah.
And just, staying out of trouble, made my way up to the front and had 2 really good pit stops under the green flag runs and was just there. And that's all that's all you really have to do here at these super speedways. You just have to be there at the end. And I knew that coming down the back stretch, I knew they were going to make some moves, and Briley got really loose, and I kind of went down, and I tried to come back up because I didn't know he was still there. So I'm glad we made it through that, and didn't have any issues. And then coming to the line, there was a lap car up that was pushing me, but then went up top, so I tried to kind of go up and block him, and Jeremy almost got me there at the line. And if it wasn't for that contact that he had, I think he probably would have got me. So sometimes it's luck's better than skill, so hey, we'll take it. And man, it's been a long time since I've won one of these things. So they made a joke that I have a kid and then I win a race, so maybe I'll have a couple others.
Now you got to go 2 in a row, man. You got to defend it at Rockingham now that you got your dad's superpowers, man. So glad to hear that. Glad to hear that the superpowers are working, man. My love to your family, and we'll see you in a week.
Absolutely. I'm not racing anymore. I'll be in the booth with you next week. I just had to see what I could do out here at Daytona. So we'll enjoy being up in the booth and watching and helping you next week. I'm too old for this every week stuff. So, but yeah, great win and great job by the team. And shout out to Kenzie and Harper for letting me do this, and had a blast.
We'll see you in a week's time, man. Congrats.
Thanks, man.
Ryan Pennell gets the W there. Not a bad way to end your night. Not a bad way to start the season. The circus continues. Round number 2 right here, 8:40 next Thursday. Taking these Gen 4 cars to Rockingham, and then 2 weeks we're going to the Lady in Black. You thought it was tough now? You think it's tough next week at Rockingham? Wait until we hit Darlington in these machines. It's going to be something else. If this is your first lap, if this is your 100th lap, thank you so much for your time. We cannot do this without you. Thanks again to the folks at Drip Diecast and Collectibles. They are your #1 eBay store for all NASCAR memorabilia. And until that next race, everybody please stay safe, take care of each other. We'll see you all around the corner.